Hi guys, my name is Rita Deshayo. I am a YouTuber based in Lagos, Nigeria. I speak about academic success, career development, self development, just being a better version of yourself and preparing the most you possibly can for the world of work. If you're interested in learning about these amazing things, definitely keep on watching. In today's video, I'm going to be speaking about the things I did in university or I saw other people do that I believe made them stand out when they were applying to jobs, or even made them prepare for the world of work, which is where you transition from being a student to actually being, for the lack of a better word, a very responsible adult where you are making decisions for yourself and you are being your own, not boss actually, but doing your thing. First thing I would say is be intentional about your career. From the get-go, you really know what is it you're interested in doing, whether it's being your own boss, that's towing the entrepreneurial line, or being a career person, having a 9 to 5. You kind of already know what is it you want to do. So I would say maybe the first thing actually is identify the path you want to take and be intentional about developing yourself there. Be intentional about your career. You might ask me. I would say the first thing is go on internships. It doesn't have to be the big places, but start early. Have somewhere on your CV that you've worked. And if you watched my last video, I would say that work experience is not necessarily paid experience, so start free, start small. The other thing I would say is look for opportunities around you in school and start taking those leadership positions from your 100 level if you may. So volunteer to be a class representative, volunteer to be the 100 level representative for your department, volunteer to be the 100 level representative for your college or your faculty. Start taking these leadership positions. Volunteer in your service unit to be a leader, volunteer on your floor, right, your hostel floor to be a leader. There's just whatever opportunity you might find, just start taking these opportunities from when you're small or when you're young or when you're still very early on in school. And the next one I would say is your academic performance, right? So there's this saying that, oh, maybe not a saying, but there's this popular narrative of, I'm not going to use my degree, I really don't care what I graduate with, I don't care how I perform in school. I'm very sorry to say, but that's a lie. That's a very big lie, right? While you may not necessarily use the degree you studied in school in getting a job, or you may not necessarily tow the career path of the degree you studied in school, irrespective of the firm you're applying to, the first contact they have with you really is your CV, maybe your cover letter and your transcript. Your transcript has the most power because it shows what you're possibly capable of doing. There are even some organizations where they don't even review the CVs of those that have like anything lower than a 2:1. There are some organizations like that, so you don't want to close the door to yourself by having a bad grade in school. While I know that this is not 100% true that everyone must follow this path. There's some people that whether they did well in school or not, because of their skills, like their skills are so good you possibly don't even care about their scores. But those are the exceptions, they are not the norms. My advice would be that as best as you can, try to get those good grades in school, right? To apply to multinationals, to apply to stellar firms here and there. They would look at your transcripts, they would ask for your transcripts before they hear about your innovative idea of changing the world and how you are the next Elon Musk or Bill Gates. They care about your transcript, right? So I would say please and please, if you're in your 100 level, your 200 level watching this video and you want to stand out when applying for jobs, although you want to really start preparing yourself for the job of your dreams, please put in the work academically, right? So to summarize all this, I would say be really intentional about your career from the get-go. Right? The second thing I would say is start early and don't be lazy. It's very easy to say I'm just in my 100 level, I still have a long way to go, I don't need to start working now, I can really use my holidays to flex, to have fun, to travel. Don't get me wrong, all these things are good, but you want to start early, right? And why I would even recommend starting early is because you have time to make mistakes. You have time to, work for free. You can afford to work for free when you're starting out early. I don't think you need the money as much, because when you're in school, because you have your allowances, you have all those things you can depend on, compared to when you're a graduate and your parents have certain expectations of you. Then you now need to start thinking, how can I fend for myself? How can I be independent and responsible? Right, so I would say start early, don't be lazy. Apply to firms. It can even be a small firm that probably doesn't even have a website now, but it's your first job. What are you doing? You're learning the structure, you're learning how is it to run a business, if it is you want to run your own business in future, or if you want to work a 9 to 5, you're learning how to be disciplined enough to wake up early in the morning and go to your place of assignment, go to your place of duty, report there, know how to work with different people, know how to subject yourself to a boss and all these things. But you are learning early, if that makes sense. So the second thing I would say is start early, and please do not be lazy. Okay. The third thing I would say is start small. It is very, very related to the starting early. But starting early doesn't necessarily mean start small. There are some people that their starting early can be the job, someone's job of my dreams, right? So maybe starting early for you can be in a multinational because your parents probably have the connections, or you actually applied and they you got in, which is good, which I'm very happy for you. But that is not going to be the story of everyone. So I would say for the norm, the other 90%, I would say be willing to start small. Starting small can be working with your parents, maybe in their businesses, or working in your uncle's company, where you're probably not paid as much, but you are exposed to how the business runs, you're exposed to clients, you're exposed to communication, and you're exposed to negotiation skills, and you can start building your toolkit that would really make you stand out when you're applying for the job of your dreams, if that makes sense. So in as much as you're starting early, please be willing and open to start small as well. I would say, I'm a Christian. I really believe in God, and I believe in the power of God in making you stand out and in just granting you favor. I would say, know your God and commit your ways to God. So it's really good to have the academic performance, that is check. It's good to have your experiences, your leadership experience, your volunteering experience, check. But I would also say know your God, really commit your ways into the hands of God, and He will direct your path. It's going to cause you to find favor in the sight of man. It's going to cause you to, land that stellar job. There's some places I have worked now, and I keep on asking myself, how did I get here? Really, it's not really because of how I performed in my interview, or how how perfect my CV or my transcript was. No, there are some interviews that I clearly flopped. But you know what, just the extra factor of God, I'm really putting my effort here. I'm praying you show forth, come out strong for me, and God just shows Himself in mysterious ways. So I would say, everything, having done all, stand and really pray to God for favor. Right? This might probably apply to a lot of people in their 100 or 200 levels, but you might be in your 300 level and you're like, okay, Faith, I'm in my final year, I'm graduating next month or next 2 months, and I did not start early. Obviously, I did not start small. I wasn't really intentional about my career starting out. What do you recommend for me to do now? So I wrote like 4 things that people in their final year or in their penultimate year, 4 active steps you can take from today that would help you prepare for the job of your dreams, that would help you stand out when applying for the job of your dreams. Number 1 is start volunteering. Right, so most of the jobs you need to apply to, you probably need to submit a CV. Right, so I would say number 1, start volunteering. It's easier to get a free job than to get a paid job. Trust me, people like free labor, they like free service. So as many opportunities as you can find to volunteer as well. I was talking to my friend, and he even said that there is a period between I think there's a period between when you graduate and when you go for service. the opportunities for you to volunteer. I remember I volunteered in a summer leadership camp, so there are opportunities for you to volunteer. If you don't know, there is someone that knows, right? Ask someone that, oh, I want to volunteer in an organization like this. I want to volunteer in a foundation like this. I remember volunteering in an orphanage home, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a corporate organization where there are like structure in place and there is a hierarchy and all these things in place. No, you can start small. So I would say volunteer in a foundation, volunteer in an orphanage home, volunteer in your church, volunteer wherever you can possibly find opportunities to volunteer. Work experience is not paid experience. I think that's my mantra at this point in time. Next thing I would say is you can start writing professional certifications. So you're in your final year in school, you don't have as much experience as your mates, but you want to stand out. Professional certifications is one thing that will definitely make you stand out, right? So look for a professional certification that is tailored to what the career line you want to go into. So you want to, probably work in a big four. ICANN is definitely one thing you can consider, or ACCA or CFA, or you want to work in consulting, you can take a project management course or certification, or you want to work in an engineering firm, then maybe, I don't know, take Coven. I don't know if that's a professional certification, but really look at the field you are looking to work into. Even if you want to own your business, there are courses you can take on Coursera, on Udemy. There's so many things you can take today that can help you develop your skills. So I would say, go write the professional certification, start writing it from today. It is better to have ACA in view on your CV than to have nothing at all, right? So I would say please and please take the professional certification. Start with what you have and build from there, right? So start with what you have, start with what you can find. Can you find a job that's not paying you as much? Like I said, this is the beginning of your career. You can make sacrifices now. So start with what you have, regardless of whether the firm is small or not, and build from there. You don't necessarily have to start out in a big place. Trust me, you taking on these experiences, doing all these things is building you up for the future of your dreams. The final thing I would say is speak to other people and connect with those that have gone ahead of you. So what does this mean? It means that you probably want to find opportunities where you probably even want to network as much, so you don't have to go through the whole submit your CV, submit your cover letter, submit your transcript, then you get invited for the stages of interviews and on and on and on. You don't want to do that. You want to speak with people to say, oh, I'm interested in this, can you connect me to the CEO of this company that can interview me straight, right? So you are trying as much as possible to reduce the bottlenecks, reduce the hurdles you can. So when you speak to people, it is really you telling them what you can bring to the table. You are not competing with 100 others that have probably 5 point CGPAs and your CGPA is not as great as theirs, or they've worked all their life really, and you don't have any work experience. So try to leverage your connections, try to leverage your network, your parents' network as much as possible. Try to leverage the connections you have to overcome some hurdles, and then when you get to interviews, show them what it is you're made of. And the caveat I want to put here is, while these connections can open the door for you, it is really your skills, it is really what you are bringing to the table that will keep you inside the room. So you also don't want to disappoint. I hope this video has made sense. I hope you learn one or two things. If you have any questions, let me know. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.